No official news on the Orville for 6 months. No green light. No new show announced. At what point do we start to worry? Welcome to the Tachyon Pulse podcast.
Our Tachyon pulse has been unable to completely penetrate the anomaly.
I've always been really confident that we were going to get a fourth season of The Orville, particularly after Scott Grimes before Christmas came out and actually told us all that it was supposed to go into pre-production in January. Now, pre-production does not mean filming, so it's not really a major concern that we haven't actually had anything official yet, because pre-production just means building sets, writing scripts. Season 2 of Ted did run over, so that would have pushed that penciled in sort of like a January date back a little bit anyway. And I imagine Seth MacFarlane and his team are actually doing editing, etc., and working on Season 2 of Ted as well. I have heard some rumours that I can't substantiate, that there were some personal issues that Seth MacFarlane had that meant that he put back production a little bit. I was told what that was, but I can't substantiate it, so it's just a rumour, and to be honest, who knows? So, I'm going to put a pin in that and move that to one side because, the thing is, I was hearing rumours that I could substantiate that Hulu weren't happy with Fuzzy Door Productions, Seth MacFarlane's production company, that with the Orville, if they're going to do it, they want a series every 18 months at absolute most. Now, the first 2 seasons came pretty quickly, but then there was a big gap between the second and third season, mostly because of COVID, to be fair. But now there's been a massive gap between season 3 and 4, mainly because Seth MacFarlane's been busy with other projects, like the season of Ted. So, where does that put us if Hulu want and are pushing for a season every 18 months? Well, I was always told that Hulu were pushing for Seth MacFarlane to take a big step back, but it looks like he's not doing it. What they wanted him to do was bring in other writers, which to be fair, he has for other seasons, but what happens is other people will write episodes and then he works with that person and it takes just as long. Adriana Palicki, in the interview that she did nearly a year ago now, actually said that one of the reasons why it was taking so long was Seth won't let go of the reins. And that seems to be a problem that Hulu have concerns about as well. Obviously, his character of Captain Mercer appears quite a lot in the show, so if he's not available, is that a problem? Well, yeah. So, they were pushing for him to maybe take a bit of a step back, maybe push forward new characters. Before the Adriana Palicki interview, I was hearing that the idea was that Seth would take a big step back and Adriana Palicki would be the new captain of the Orville. But now that no longer seems to be happening either. We're not going to be getting Captain Grayson. So, at what point should we be concerned? Pre-production normally does take about 6 months. So, if that's what Scott Grimes was talking about, then we really shouldn't be expecting anything till about July to actually go into production. When do TV companies and production companies normally announce, though, that a TV show has been greenlit? Well, that can vary. Sometimes it's before pre-production, sometimes we don't get an announcement until they start filming, or a couple of weeks before they start filming. Normally, a production company will only really announce it when they have to. So a lot of the time you'll only really get like an official announcement when casting starts, because as soon as casting starts, the secret gets out. Agents talk to people like me, actors talk to friends, actually, this stuff, it gets out. So it really depends on what the production company's sort of idea of how to go about this is. It has been radio silence, though, for a little while. I've not been hearing anything about the Orville. My understanding is it hasn't actually gone into pre-production, i.e. there's no sets being built. That's not really a major problem either. But I do hear the scripts were done a little while ago, and they're just sitting there. My understanding is that Fuzzy Door is blaming Hulu for not greenlighting it, and Hulu are blaming Fuzzy Door because they can't give them concrete answers to some questions like when will it actually go into production, when will you do season 5, etc., etc. There have been rumours over the last 12 months that the season would just be scrapped, and actually Disney would push forwards and do a movie of the Orville instead. I actually think a lot of fans would possibly quite like that idea. I know I probably quite would. And I think it might fit Seth MacFarlane's plans because he's a very busy boy with lots of other projects. So could the delay be that they're negotiating a movie deal? Possibly, but I actually think it's more likely that there is just a little bit of politics going on. That yes, Seth MacFarlane and Fuzzy Door Productions are busy with lots of other projects, lots of other things they want to do, and Hulu are refusing really to sign on the dotted line until they are reassured that if they actually do agree and greenlight it and announce it, that it'll happen. So yeah, there are problems. The Orville, I'm certain, will fly again. But the longer this goes on, the more we should be concerned. At what point will I actually think it's dead and done? July. If we haven't heard anything in July, August at the latest, nothing official, because don't forget, this isn't a show that's been greenlit, so it doesn't necessarily have to be cancelled. It's not a show that was ever set up for a fourth season, so this could just not be announced at all, at least through Hulu. I think when we get to the point of it's definitely not going to happen, it'll come through Seth or some of the actors related to this. Scott Grimes again will say something on a panel. I've told you this guys before, but I actually think Scott Grimes was not supposed to say January. I actually think that was something that was penciled in. It wasn't definite, and I actually think he maybe spoke out a little bit of turn there, because Seth and Fuzzy Dawn Productions never followed it up with an official statement, which I think says a lot. So yeah, the rumours continue. There have been issues with things like the fires in California. That may have made issues as well, even though my understanding is Burbank has plenty of studio space open. There are plenty of studio spaces in California, so it shouldn't be a major problem. There's an auxiliary business problem, apparently, that things like lighting companies and things like that were affected by some of the fires, and that has hampered some production in California, but not a great deal. So, my understanding, there's no reason why it couldn't go ahead as planned, but it just isn't. Guys, get into the comments though and tell me what you think. Is this a show that is just now, it's just dragged on, we don't need it, let's just let it go? Or maybe, hey, look, we've had 3 great seasons, a movie would be cool, but we're good if not. Or is it season 4, damn it, 100%, full sail ahead, if it's delayed, who cares, let's just get it done. Get into the comments and tell me exactly what you think. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification. It really helps us out. Don't know why I did that, but I promise never to do it again. Also, you can become a member of the channel and get to see videos up to 24 hours before everybody else. Go check that out. As always, please stay safe, and I'll see you next time.
Our tachyon pulse has been unable to completely penetrate the anomaly.